He was a musician, a dancer and working in a rewarding job for the federal government. Then, one night in 2006, Sam Cawthorn's life was turned upside down when he was involved in a major car accident. The crash left him with an amputated right arm and permanent disability in his right leg. He was pronounced dead on the way to the hospital.
What marked the end of his old life marked the beginning of his new one. 11 years on, Sam Cawthorn is a professional speaker, sharing his incredible story to millions of people across 36 different countries. And his latest book, Storyshowing, tells you how you can influence and inspire others, all by telling others your own personal story. Here to show us how it's done is award-winning author Sam Cawthorn. Sam, hello, lovely to have you with us.
It's great to be here, thank you.
If we go back to the night of the accident, what do you remember about that?
Look, it was like any other day, really, you know, and it was actually more in the afternoon. So it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was driving down there in Tasmania, which is where I was living at the time. You know, and I was in the prime of my life, 26 years old, and I found myself being tired while I was driving between Devonport and Launceston. I fell asleep. I was then told that I veered over the other side of the road, and I was then told it was a 206-kilometre head-on collision with a semi-trailer truck.
You wake up 2 days later in hospital with these terrible injuries. What's going through your head then?
You know, at first I was actually in a complete state of denial. Man, this hasn't happened to me. I'm in this nightmare. I'm going to wake up. And then realising what had happened, I remember going through pillow after pillow from my tears. But not because I was sad for myself. It was more for my kids, that they would now grow up with a disabled father.
You had kids then?
Yeah, I had kids.
You had kids, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I had 2 kids at the time, 4-year-old and a little 1.5-year-old.
So that's impacted the family big time.
Oh, massively.
Yeah.
But you know something? My kids have never said, Dad, I wish. Dad, I wish you had 2 arms. Dad, I wish you could use your leg. My leg doesn't work at all. So, you know, for me, it's what you focus on. What you focus on is what you get. So I focus on, I'm still alive, I'm breathing, I'm good looking. Tall. No, not at all.
And was it that sense of humour, I guess, and also your family, of course, that gave you the motivation, do you think, to get through that difficult time?
Yeah, look, for sure. One thing I talk a lot about is that proximity is power. There's now undisputed evidence that now shows that you are the average of your 5 closest friends. The company that you keep determine who you are. And so that proximity around me certainly helped me. But the really interesting thing was I then realised that other people wanted to hear inspiring stories. And so very organically, I became this motivational speaker, just sharing my story.
How do you motivate people then to live their best life? Is it just by example, or what do you tell them?
Yeah, look, in most cases, the number one thing here is that everyone has tough times, whether it's relationship, financial, even if it's a career or a death of a loved one. Everyone does have these tough times. But yes, we are inspired through other people getting through their tough time. And so I think the onus on us is that if we've overcome something, we then need to share that experience with other people so we can inspire them through our story.
Sam, let's talk about the art of conversation. I've loved flicking through your book.
Thank you.
Everybody, you say, should have a story.
Yeah.
And when I read your story, I couldn't put it down. You're one of 11 kids.
Yes.
And you have 38 nieces and nephews.
I do. That's exactly right. So my mum is Indian, father's Scottish, and yeah, there's this huge family all based down there in Tasmania. I mean, that's what happens in Tassie. But yeah, just growing up in that country environment with a large family certainly helped me to, if I wanted to be heard, I needed to be able to speak loudly. And so obviously that certainly helped me be a professional speaker.
Yeah.
What are the secrets of telling a good story? Is it the story or is it the delivery of the story?
Yeah, look, great question. There's 2 elements to story. One is the content, what you say, and the other thing is the method, how you say it. So content, in most cases, they say it's around 20 to 30% of the impact that you're going to make is what you say. So then that means then that it's up to 80% of your story isn't necessarily what comes out of your mouth. It's how you say it. It's everything from your non-verbals to your gestures to your facial expression, your tonality. So everything for me is all about more how you say it rather than what you say.
How long should it go for, your story?
Look, it totally depends on the situation. You know, if you're at a dinner party, there's nothing worse when someone, you know, is talking and then 15 minutes later you're thinking, man, when are they bringing out the next dish?
Somebody get the talking stick away from them.